Welcome to the Patriot Tech Tip series. My name is Trey, and this is a series that we started with one simple goal in mind: to pull back the curtains on the trades. Whether it's HVAC or electrical, these systems are the heartbeat of your home. But for most people, they're a total mystery, and we want to change that. And we believe that an educated customer is a happy customer. So in this series, I'm sitting down with our top technicians and our managers to give you the honest, practical advice. We want to help you understand how your home works and show you how to prevent these expensive breakdowns and help keep your family safe and comfortable right here in East Texas. Today, I'm joined with Jeffrey, one of our primary HVAC technicians, and we're going over some key safety aspects of your furnace, carbon monoxide. Just sitting here thinking, and we were talking right before this, it blows my mind that to this day in 2026, I'm still heating my house with a fire right in the middle of it.
Yeah, it's basically, the same thing as they've used for thousands of years. Fire works, it heats well, so why reinvent the wheel?
Good point. I guess we've just added a few efficiencies and some key safety points to it, right?
Definitely. Yeah, so that's basically the changes that we've made. I mean, it's still just a fire, but by having the safeties in place, we can make sure that it can run in the middle of an occupied home without necessarily having to be watched all the time.
Gotcha. So what exactly is a furnace, and what sets that apart from other types of HVAC systems?
So a furnace is basically going to be a heater. Generally, if you get technical with the naming, because they have what they call like electric furnaces or things like that. So
Okay.
it's really what is used to heat it. So a gas furnace uses natural gas or propane to
Okay.
heat. And then of course you have other means of heating, electricity or refrigerant. But a gas furnace is going to be the one that is actually a fire
Right.
that's in your home.
Right. You mentioned safe. Like, what are some of the key attributes of a furnace, of a gas furnace, that the safety aspects of a gas furnace?
Right. So when it comes to that, a lot of it has to do with exhausting the gas or the exhaust fumes from the furnace
Mhm.
out of the home, because of course that exhaust it can be toxic, it can be damaging if we're breathing that in. So making sure that that exhaust is vented out of the home, and one of the things that's used on a furnace is a heat exchanger. So what it does basically, it allows the fire from the burners to be shot into the heat exchanger. The exhaust is vented out, and then the heat from that fire is exchanged with the air.
Makes
So
sense.
as the air moves over it, it's picking up that heat, and then it is blown into your home through the ductwork and everything like that.
Okay. Gotcha. So, in my understanding is that burning of that gas is what's creating this byproduct, which is carbon monoxide, correct?
Yeah. So when it comes to that, the exhaust fumes, you get carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide. Water is also a byproduct of combustion.
Okay.
But when it comes to that, the harmful thing is generally going to be carbon monoxide, because even in low quantities, it can adversely affect our brains. It can cause death. So that's one of the most dangerous things when it comes to that.
I hear it touched on quite often, and my main understanding as to why it is so dangerous is because it's colorless and odorless, correct?
Exactly, because there's no way for us without technology to see it or to smell it. What happens is you could go to sleep and just not wake up.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. Different than, say, like propane that actually has some a smell or some chemicals that are put
Exactly.
into it to actually
Yeah.
make a smell to it.
Yeah, because with natural gas and propane, again, it's odorless, but because of the danger, odor is added to it. But you
Right.
can't do that with carbon monoxide because it's a byproduct of
Gotcha.
combustion.
That definitely makes sense. So you were going over venting, right? Obviously, we've got the heat exchanger that then is venting into is a flue pipe. Am I
The
saying
flue
that
pipe,
correct?
yep,
So
exactly.
from there, and that typically takes it up and out, and then disperses it in the air, and then from there, it mixes in with the oxygen or with the air,
Yeah.
and it becomes harmless at that point in time.
Mhm.
Is there anything a customer or homeowner can do to visually check to make sure that it's venting properly?
Well, I mean, mainly just want to look to make sure there's not like a big hole in the venting
Right.
for your vent, for your flue pipe, which
Mhm.
is usually like a metal one. On your more efficient homes, you have PVC exhaust on your furnaces.
Okay.
And so with that, as long as there's not like a big hole where it can vent out, or gas is not going out of the house,
Right.
that's what you want to look for.
Gotcha.
But beyond that, the biggest thing that you want to have as a protection is having a carbon monoxide detector, because that way, like I said, when it comes to how a furnace is designed to run, it's designed to run and not produce a lot of carbon monoxide.
Mhm.
But if anything ever goes wrong, that carbon monoxide detector is the backup, basically that last line of defense to let you know, hey, something's going on.
Gotcha. And I've seen all different kinds of carbon monoxide detectors, right? I've seen them on the wall. I've seen them in with your, fire detection system on the ceiling. I've seen even the little plug-in ones. Is there a
Right.
reason you would choose one over the other?
It's just convenience, really.
Okay.
Because carbon monoxide, when it comes to air, it's slightly lighter than air, but it generally mixes. So where you have the carbon monoxide detector is not necessarily the most important. A lot of times it's put with a smoke alarm. It's a smoke carbon
Right.
combination.
Mm-hmm.
You can have it, in a plug on the floor or in the middle of the wall. The idea is as long as you have one, that's gonna let you know you have an issue.
Having one is safer than not having one,
Yeah.
basically. Great.
Mhm.
So when y'all are going out and doing these fall tune-ups and checking over these furnaces, can you kind of walk me through briefly on what you're looking for and anything that pertains to what we're talking about here?
So what like we said, here's the furnace. It's a
Right.
fire in your house.
Right.
So that has to do with combustion principles.
Mhm.
So as I've learned and studied more, one thing that I've invested in is a combustion analyzer, because with that it lets you know, with the mixture of your air, your gas, and everything, how your furnace is actually operating. That's going to be the best way to check for carbon monoxide and how your furnace is running. But we always check our gas pressure to make sure that's set right. If the gas pressure is too high or too low, that can cause carbon monoxide. We look for combustion air. So a lot of times you might, if you have a furnace in the closet, you'll look up and say, how come there's a hole up
Right.
there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, the reason for that is so that that fire has enough air so that it can breathe. All fires need air, otherwise
Right.
they
Go
shut
out.
off. Exactly.
Yep.
So that's another thing we look for. We check to make sure that the heat exchanger is intact, things like that. But a lot of times, like I said, that carbon or combustion analyzer, it's really one of the great tools for that because it can help you to see things that you can't see.
Great. Great. So long story short, big thing is get a carbon monoxide detector. Get it checked. Get your furnace checked every year as well.
Get it checked every year.
Yes.
Have a carbon monoxide detector, and that way you're going to be guaranteed safety.
Great.
Yep.
Fantastic. Yep. Well, thank you for joining us. Heading back, this is Patriot Electric Heating and Cooling here out in East Texas. If you have any questions over your furnace, you can always give us a call at 903-954-2525 or a link to our websites down here in the description. You can go set up an appointment there and get us out to get your tune-up taken care of.